The Steam Machine, who is it competing with? Steam and Valve weigh in on exactly what their competitive market is. Red Dead Redemption gets a very nice upgrade coming to current platforms as well as some other interesting platforms. PlayStation is building games, Sony is funding games, but they aren't releasing on the PlayStation console. Some very interesting stuff here that we will look at, plus lots of other news. Before we do get into it, if you enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Really does help get the channel out there and grow more right now. The channel is stagnating a bit here. The algorithm has its ups and downs. It's in the down right now. So if you could help it grow, that would be very much appreciated. But let's get into the news. So as we know, Valve had a bunch of announcements yesterday. This Steam Machine, for a lot of people, I think is one of the most enticing things here for the future of gaming and the console market. It's an interesting device. I will probably pick one up. I do like what they are doing here with the overall Steam Machine, but who exactly is this for? Is this going to be very competitive with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S, or even the next generation PlayStation and Xbox? And the answer to that, I think, is probably not so much. They are really selling this thing as a companion device for people who are already playing via Steam on their desktop, their laptops, or just higher end PCs, because if you look at the specs of this Steam Machine, it is a lower power device. It will really thrive, I think, in 1080p gaming or 1440p, although they do say 4K 60 with FSR. We've already seen some previews of it where the best results, if you want to get that smoothness, is not going to be in 4K, which is completely fine. As somebody who loves his Xbox Series S, I'm okay with these specs, especially because it will mean that the Steam Machine is going to be relatively affordable. It's going to be under the price of the current consoles, more than likely, and under the price of the next generation ones. You can basically bet on that. But who is Steam? Who does Steam think that they are actually competing with? Who does Valve think that they are competing with this device? Here is what they say. They have Valve hardware engineer Yazan Aldahayat. Not sure if I said that right, but did my best there. And he says this: if you're trying to make a PC that has similar features and similar performance, I think the Steam Machine is going to be a really competitive price to that and provide really good value to it. And that is a good thing to see. So they're taking care of the build for you and probably giving you a better price. They say the affordability piece you mentioned is one of the reasons why we think a Steam Machine makes a lot of sense right now. So it's just something that we thought about every time we made a hardware decision. A feature decision is to make sure that we keep it as approachable, as affordable as possible. Now, when you look at the games in this, analyzing what is happening here with the actual specs in this thing, Digital Foundry as well noting that games and where they're running, it is enabling 4K 60 hertz performance in all of the Steam games with upscaling. But Digital Foundry is noting here that an early test at Valve, Cyberpunk 2077, ran at 1440p 60 FPS upscale to 4K, but dropped to 30 frames per second as soon as they enabled ray trace reflections and sun shadows. And they estimate that the performance of the machine to be positioned somewhere between the Xbox Series S and the PlayStation 5. So this will be a machine that comes in here more powerful than the Series S. How much more? Not 100% sure. And then less powerful than the PS5. And you look at the price of the Series S right now, it's $380. This is after they've raised the prices for the 512 gigabyte model. And the PlayStation 5 digital edition is $500. So I'm thinking here, we may get something in between that. Maybe we get $450, maybe we get $399. If they can deliver on that price, this device becomes that much more enticing. But in no way is the Steam Machine going to be something that competes with like the higher end consoles or something that competes with the next generation. They're not positioning it for that. And I think that's a smart decision. I think that's a good move by them. I have no problems with my Series S. I play it all the time. So getting something like this that'll be slightly more powerful than that, it will be great for me. I know I will end up enjoying the Steam Machine if I do end up picking one up. We just have to now wait for the pricing of it. We don't know what the pricing is. Hopefully they do make that announcement relatively soon. It's supposed to be coming in early 2026. So I guess you could pretty much bet that there will be an announcement for the prices of this thing soon. Red Dead Redemption gets a nice surprise announcement here. If you've ever played the first one, you're going to want to check this out. If you haven't played the first one, this will be probably the best time to now check it out. But Red Dead Redemption is receiving free Xbox Series X and S upgrade this December. So I guess if you have the game, you're going to get that. I would assume it's only the digital version. I wonder if you popped in your Xbox 360 disc into your Xbox, would you get the update? Not 100% sure, but this is what they do say, that players on PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S can look forward to a smooth 60 frames per second experience, enhanced image quality, HDR support, and resolutions up to 4K. On Nintendo Switch 2, we've taken full advantage of this new hardware with support for DLSS, HDR mouse controls, and the same fluid 60 frames per second gameplay at high resolution. Current owners on PS4, Nintendo Switch, or the digital backward compatible version on the Xbox One will be able to upgrade digitally for free. Yeah, so they're specifying right here that it is just the digital backwards compatible version. They say, anyway, who owns the PS4 version can utilize previous PS4 save data to pick up where they left off, and Switch 2 players can continue with their previous save data from the previous Nintendo Switch console. All of this is coming on December 2nd. So pretty cool stuff there coming to the Switch, to Xbox, PlayStation. But what else is interesting? It's also coming to Netflix, iOS, and Android. So they're putting this on the mobile platforms as well. Netflix is one that they're trying to get more of these games into their service because they have those mobile games that if you are subscribed to Netflix, you get access to their gaming catalog, and it's all just mobile stuff. So if you care about that type of stuff, that is the type of content you'll get. So it does look like that Red Dead Redemption is going to be added into that. So that's pretty cool. It's, I think, a pretty good get for them. People will end up playing that and enjoying it. And speaking of mobile gaming, PlayStation has announced 2 mobile games, one of them also releasing on PC. Interestingly enough, they are not actually releasing on the PlayStation console. So we got this announcement yesterday. The first one here is a new Ratchet and Clank game, Ratchet and Clank Rumble, or Ranger Rumble. And it's basically an online arena multiplayer game with various different game modes. You can see there's obviously shooting game modes. There's like some Rocket League stuff in there as well. But they did announce this one only coming to mobile, iOS, and Android. They're taking one of their big first-party IPs, and Sony is funding these games, but not actually releasing them on the console. Yes, I get this one is mobile. You could probably get this running on a PC and on a console if they did want to do that. But their entire goal, I think, with these styles of games is to broaden PlayStation away from the console, to get more people playing PlayStation that are not tethered to the PS5, to the console itself, and then try to grow their ecosystem that way. That's the specific thing for this, because, hey, maybe they'll get people who are looking at this and realizing that they can play on something other than a PS5, jump in, play it, then be attracted to the other stuff that PlayStation does have to offer, and then, hey, go out, maybe buy or spend more money within the PlayStation ecosystem. Same thing with this one. They're doing the same thing here, but the difference with this one, I'm even more shocked that this is not actually on PlayStation itself. Again, being funded by Sony. It's Horizon Steel Frontiers, an MMORPG from NCSoft. This has been announced for PC and mobile, and they say that this is set in the lands of the machine hunters known as the Deadlands. The game builds on Horizon's signature hunting action gameplay while introducing advanced MMORPG systems featuring deeply customizable combat and extensive player freedom. Now, they also say there's no release date provided for this one, and there's currently no suggestion of a PlayStation version of the game, making it the first time the Horizon franchise will be missing from its debut platform. If you go all the way back down here, when Jim Ryan was still the boss of SIE, he did say this, that partnering with NCSoft advances their strategy to expand beyond console and broaden PlayStation's reach to a wider audience. So that's what their goal is. That's what they are doing. If you're still somebody who thinks that PlayStation cares only about the console and they're going to want to lock everything away to it, they've moved away for that for years now by putting games onto PC. And this is another step. Yes, they've done mobile in the past, I believe. They even had like a PlayStation phone way back in the day. But the fact that they aren't releasing this on a PlayStation console is very interesting. What else is interesting is that this game here, this MMORPG, since it is releasing on P, technically you're going to be playing this, if you want to, on the next Xbox console, but you're not going to be able to play it on the PlayStation console unless they make a PlayStation version for it by the time the next console does come out. Either way, some new interesting games to try out if you are a fan of either one of those franchises. I don't think I would have ever thought they would have funded games but not released them on PlayStation. I'm not shocked that they're putting them in more places. I've been saying they're doing this, and they have already been doing this for a while. But to put it in other places and not release it on PlayStation, something new, something different, not too shocking. The other thing that PlayStation has announced is a brand new monitor, showing that they are really trying to target PC gamers as well. Again, I think they've released monitors as well in the past, but here's a brand new one. A 27-inch PlayStation gaming monitor will launch next year in the US and in Japan. And this is a quad HD IPS display with a resolution of up to 2560 by 1440. So it will be a 1440p monitor. Has HDR with auto HDR tone mapping, which automatically adjusts HDR settings during setup on the PS5 and the PS5 Pro consoles. Has VRR up to 120 hertz. And it also says here that it does support seamless gameplay on PS5 and PS5 Pro consoles and 240 hertz on compatible PC and Mac devices. So you get 120 hertz on the console, up to 240 hertz on the PC and the Mac, and it has a built-in charging hook for a DualSense or a DualSense Edge wireless controller, which is cool that it has the hook there, and you can just have those things always linked up and charging itself. But this is a brand new gaming monitor. It is due to launch in 2026. All of these things, I mean, we talked about this on this channel for years, but I feel like there are still people who have closed their eyes to where this industry is going. And this is a positive direction where more people are going to be able to play games, where people are going to get access to previously closed off ecosystems on the PlayStation side and on the Xbox side, obviously, before they really started expanding out to more places. Now we're seeing the Steam machine come in. This is the first console where there really is no exclusives to that machine itself that are big hitters. Like if they released Half-Life 3, that would be massive. But it is going to be the most open one of them all, where they're basically saying you can do anything with it. Next generation is about open ecosystems. Who is going to win the open ecosystem, the open platform, and who is going to be able to get their software to as many people as possible? That'll be a very interesting thing to track. We also have some news here in regards to a God of War game. God of War developers, their new IP was canceled after investing $25 million into it. This is from Shuei Yoshida that revealed that 2 PlayStation projects were canceled after costing $25 million each. Here is what he says. He was on the My Perfect Console podcast, and he opened out about the canceled PlayStation projects. And he says here that the game was supported for many years, but after putting in $25 million, the developers came to him saying, "We have to stop." He wasn't able to recall the exact reason for the cancellation, but it was probably because the team was not able to find the game. And he added that it was a great concept, but the gameplay didn't really come to be. So that's unfortunate if you were looking for a game from Sony Santa Monica. That was not God of War. That's what they do mention here. This was a new IP from the developer of God of War. They had to go ahead and cancel it. And it also really just highlights how much money gets spent on development, the pre-development of all these games before they really get pushed forward further. $25 million. If you look at current budgets, yeah, it's not a majority of the budget, but it's still a lot of money to think about just putting into the development of a game that just never sees the light of day. Maybe they take assets from it. Maybe they take things from it that can be utilized in other games so they somehow can recoup their money back slowly, but still a lot of money to just kind of put and then just get the game canceled. Rockstar, we've been talking about this. They've actually now been hit with a legal claim after the firings. There was the whole situation of employees being fired. They were saying Rockstar was union busting. Rockstar was saying that the employees were leaking information. That's why they did get fired. Well, now there is some legal issues that are hitting Rockstar from the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain. They say in a legal statement shared with Eurogamer, the IWGB reveals that they are representing employees who Rockstar Games recently fired and that they were dismissed in circumstances that amount to victimization and collective dismissal linked to trade union activity. And they do add that despite IGWB attempting to meet Rockstar and resolve the matter through negotiation, the latter was refused to meet and persisted to terminate members of the union in a manner that is unacceptable and unlawful. So they've issued a formal legal claim against Rockstar on behalf of the claimants. And yeah, we'll see what happens going forward. I knew the story was going to continue to develop, and more things would go forward with it, just basically off the two conflicting stories that were coming at us from the news side. But there is a statement here that says employers like Rockstar would do well to understand that private spaces such as a trade union, Discord servers have protections, and that their company's contractual clauses do not supersede UK law. We'll see what happens, because we have Grand Theft Auto 6 that's been delayed to November of next year. That is the main thing that they're focusing on, of course. I mean, they probably have a massive legal team that are dealing with legal things all the time. This will be another one that they do have to deal with. But I wonder what the end result will be of this case. Who is really in the right here? And I mean, because you're getting those conflicting stories. The IWGB really are pushing here that they were just on their server. They were trying to unionize. Rockstar didn't like it. They came in and they ended up firing them. So, but we'll see, because I'm sure now with the legal proceedings or a legal claim, even more information will be coming out for it. And finally, two interesting stories here regarding Ubisoft. First off, Far Cry 7 details have reportedly leaked online. They say here via files from X-Defiant. Fans data mined images showing what appear to be locations from the next Far Cry, suggesting an Alaskan setting, which I think that would be pretty cool. And it also reveals, from what we've previously heard, there are actually two Far Cry games in development. Far Cry 7, which is a traditional single player campaign, which is the one I'm looking forward to. And then a separate spin-off one described as an extraction-based shooter. So they're trying to get in on that extraction craze right now that's happening with the Embark Studios Arc Raiders. I don't know why I was forgetting the name there. And then you have Marathon coming out next year. But Far Cry world could make sense for some extraction stuff. I mean, they already have the Division where you could build out that extraction shooter as well. But here are some of the leak images as to what they are showing off here. It looks like one of these is for that extraction shooter, and then more images from the location that you're going to be playing through in Alaska. I mean, I like the Far Cry here, so I'm definitely looking forward to exactly what they have in store here. Hopefully they improve upon it and make the game different than previous ones and just give us something new to jump in and play through. But I'm looking excited here to see exactly when we'll see Far Cry 7, when it'll be announced, and when the game will come out. What else is interesting is Ubisoft. There could be something big happening here. No idea if this means really anything, but there could be something big here. This does seem very odd. This CFO has indicated here that they are actually delaying the release of their financial reports and that they're halting the trading of the Ubisoft stock. He sent out an email. This is an internal email that was provided to Insider Gaming, and it says, "Hello, everyone. I wanted to let you know that we are taking extra time to finalize the closing of the semester, and as a result, we will publish our first half earnings result in the coming days instead of tonight." So it was supposed to be tonight. They delayed it a few days, and then they're going to go ahead and they are going to halt the trading of their stock. They say, due to legal regulations, we cannot share more information with you at this time. To limit unnecessary speculation and market volatility during the short delay, we have asked Euronext to suspend the trading of our stock until the results are announced. We know this is likely to raise questions and drive media coverage. I encourage you all to listen to the conference call, which will be available via the investor section of our site just after the results are released, so that you have more detailed view of the earnings. So they're saying they're doing this because there's going to be a media craze. I mean, Ubisoft always gets a massive media craze around them in the negative light. So that's why they're stopping the trade. I can understand that, because you're going to see a lot of speculation over the next few days. Are they selling? Are they going private? Like all of these types of things that maybe they'll make a crazy announcement. Maybe they'll announce some other stuff. They're selling off assets. Like who knows? All of the speculation that would come up because of this. So the stock would take a major hit. Not that it has been very good recently either way, but in the next few days, we'll know exactly what their financials are all about. But I'll end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.